Day 5 of training camp is in the books for the New Orleans Saints, and it was day 1 of full pads though, which is pretty exciting. Real football is here, and we got our first look at the Saints offensive and defensive linemen, including rookie Kelvin Banks, who had a really nice moment. The defense appeared to have dominated the day yet again, and the quarterbacks in general just didn't have the best day overall, but rookie quarterback Tyler Shough appeared to be the one who showcased his struggles the most, and at times just seemed like he had an off day at practice, which could be expected for a rookie, but it did appear that there were some pretty odd moments. And we're here to break down day 5 of Saints training camp in today's video. I'm Cash, and you should take 5 seconds to like the video and subscribe, help support the channel. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're currently, I think, about to hit 12.7. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate all the love and support. Help me reach my goals, and you'll get daily NFL content. It's a win-win situation. And with all of that out of the way, let's dive into day 5 of training camp. So rookie Saints quarterback Tyler Shough today got to work with the Saints first team offense, which aligns with the rotation that we've seen so far. Rattler got first team reps yesterday. Tyler Shough got first team reps today. Rattler worked with the second team, while Jake Keener was with the third team offense. Now overall, before we dive into specifics and players and details, I just want to say that all the quarterbacks appear to have had struggling, not the best day. The quarterbacks with the pads going on wasn't the strongest day for the group. A lot of pressure by the defense and a few throwaways, so it doesn't appear to be like it was only Tyler Shough who was struggling, as you see in the title. Just wanted to make it very clear that it wasn't the strongest day for the quarterback position group in general. But as you can tell from the title, it was Tyler Shough who appeared to just be struggling all day during this first day of pads on Monday. This reporter who covers the Saints and was at practice said that it was a real struggle today for Tyler Shough. A lot of throwing off his back foot, kind of drifting back, and you'll see some footage of that, and then missing some receivers who were pretty open in the flats and just missing some throws, and that's not what you want to hear from your second round pick quarterback who you invested a lot into. You'll see on your screen some of the clips that Tyler Shough is just dropping back off his back foot and makes just a weird throw to Rashid Shaheed, doesn't settle his feet, doesn't step up into the pocket with pressure coming in his face. The footwork just isn't the best. There's other plays where he just kind of defaulted to running. He's not seeing the field fully, not making progressions, not making reads. The ball's not coming out quickly. The clock in his head is taking too long and it's ticking too slow. Just stuff like that appears to be happening for Tyler Shough, and it appeared to happen quite a bit during Monday's practice. And it appears to be the thing holding him back right now in terms of the quarterback competition. Tyler Shough has the size, he has the arm talent, the accuracy is really good. He has the ability and mobility to be an athletic runner. But it's, can he speed up the clock in his head? Can he get through his reads progressively? Can he find the right guys? Can he get the footwork down? And stuff like that that's kind of holding Tyler Shough back in this quarterback competition so far. Now, I also would like to mention it is his 5th training camp practice ever. He is a rookie. It was his first padded practice of his NFL career. So it could just be an overreaction to this information, which I'm promising you that I am overreacting, and I'm sure a lot of people are overreacting, but this is just the information that we have right now. Tyler Shough didn't look so great in the first padded practice, but I was also hoping that Tyler Shough by this time would be a little bit more polished by now. His age and his experience and his maturity is something that the coaching staff liked a lot about him, and what people have said was going to make him NFL ready by day 1 because of his age, experience, and maturity, but he's still lacking a progressiveness and still lacking a clock in his head to get the ball out quickly, reading the offense, reading the field. I'm sure a lot of it is just rookie stuff, still trying to build connection and chemistry and all that. Probably overreacting, but I just would have liked to seen him taking a little step forward in this department. Now, Tyler Shough has had some nice moments at times for sure, like finding Juwan Johnson on a crossing route, throwing him open in double, triple coverage. That was a really nice pass. In addition to that Juwan Johnson pass, he also found Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a nice angle route for a touchdown in Sunday's practice, which is a really nice pass. Jeff Nowak says right here that it was one of the better throws that he saw on Sunday. It was an angle route, that's timing throw. You have to trust it, and it looks like he was settling in the last few practices in terms of NFL speed, and then he took a little step backwards on Monday. Maybe this is part of the process, part of developing a quarterback. But I would have just liked seen him click a little bit faster to this point. But we still got some time before the first preseason game, so I'm not too worried about it, but I would like to see some progression over these practices relatively soon. Now, he did have a nice pass on the day to wide receiver Brandon Cooks during team drills. Here is the clip of it. Dropping back. Decent protection, it looks like. Steps up into the pocket. And then he throws Brandon Cooks open for the first down with, who is that in coverage? Julian Blackman, the newly signed safety in coverage. So this is a nice play from Tyler Shough. It looks like it was play action, and then he steps up into the pocket and makes a nice throw. But overall, it just kind of appeared to be Tyler Shough had an off day on Monday. Spencer Rattler, like we mentioned earlier, worked with the twos today, and he definitely had the standout throw of the day, finding Rashid Shaheed downfield on a deep ball. And it was a really nice connection, definitely the play of the day and the best throw by any quarterback on the day. Here's another angle of the play. Over here is Rashid Shaheed. Spencer Rattler's in at quarterback. And he drops back. Look at the protection. Really good blocking from the offensive line on this angle. Goes deep, and he finds Rashid Shaheed on a little nice back shoulder pass on the sideline. Now, I would have liked to have maybe seen him lead Rashid Shaheed downfield and hit him in stride. It looks like he has a step on. Who's the cornerback on this play? I can't tell who's at DB, but it looks like he has a step. If he leads him downfield, it's a touchdown if he hits him in stride. I'm not mad at the completion, though. Like, that's a really nice play, back shoulder. Just would have been nice to see him hit him in stride. And maybe in a few practices, we'll see Rattler do a better job of doing this. Just would have liked to see him hit him in stride. That would have been a nice standout moment for Rattler in this quarterback starting job competition. On top of a really nice connection to Rashid Shaheed, he also found Mason Tipton for a nice play during 7-on-7s. Tipton is somewhere over here. It's kind of hard to see from this angle. We'll pull up another one shortly. Rattler throws it, and here's Tipton. Throws it between the cornerback and the safety. It was a nice throw, ball placement. Oh, right here. The black jersey is Mason Tipton. And then they complete the pass, but then he takes a nice little shot from Julian Blackman. Can't tell from this angle if he could have maybe placed it better so his receiver doesn't take a hit. We've been talking about hospital ball since Derek Carr was the Saints quarterback. I don't know if he could have placed this in a position to where Tipton doesn't get hit, but that was a nice placement between the safety and the cornerback. Maybe we get a better angle of it right here. Let's see. Nice ball placement. I don't know if Tipton had to jump for that. Like, he definitely did not have to jump for that, so maybe that's on Tipton on that play. Nice connection there. Just not sure if he could have placed it a little bit better so Tipton doesn't get hit. Spencer Rattler also had a nice connection with Chris Olave, but overall, the quarterbacks also just didn't have the best day. He also had a moment overthrowing Rashid Shaheed downfield. On the day, Spencer Rattler went 3 of 5, while Tyler Shough went 6 of 9. Nice. So it seems like Spencer Rattler is maintaining his lead in the starting quarterback competition, but he's not enhancing his lead. It's just kind of maintaining the same level that it's at, and he's not taking advantage of Tyler Shough's lack of development. He's not being consistent. So it just kind of seems like it's staying right here, and no one's really like gradually taking that next step and taking that leap to kind of make themselves known as the starter. As for Jake Kaner, there wasn't a whole lot about his day in a productive light. He had a nice hookup with Moochie Dixon, the undrafted wide receiver, but then he fumbled from Jalen Ford, so that's just not great. Haener did take some downfield shots, which is pretty exciting. We haven't seen too many downfield shots in general, but those passes were broken up. One of them by Isaiah Stallbird, the safety linebacker hybrid, who made a really nice pass breakup in the air, making a high point play, covering tight end Maliki Matavo. And undrafted rookie safety Elliot Davison had a nice pass breakup covering Rashid Shaheed. Shout out to Elliot Davison. He was on the channel recently. Really cool to see him making a play like that on Rashid Shaheed, one of the camp MVPs so far and standouts. Moving off of quarterbacks and onto the running backs and offensive line. With the pads on, we got to see a look at the offensive line and actual running plays with pads against the defense. Kendra Miller had a really nice run with the second team offense and was arguably the best run of the day, until undrafted rookie free agent Marcus Yarns had an outstanding run with great blocking ahead of him, allowing him to get to the third level with a one-on-one matchup with the safety Elliot Davison, who went high on the hit, and Marcus Yarns kind of bounced off of it and ran down the sideline. Nice run from the undrafted guy, and on top of that, just good momentum for Kendra Miller as well, having a nice run. Marcus Yarns getting a nice run. Saints rookie running back Devin Neal, the 6th-round pick, got first team reps, which is cool to see. And he also had a nice play in pass protection which is how he's going to find his way onto the field, because that's something very important and valuable to this coaching staff, running backs being able to protect the quarterback. Devin Neal had a nice little run right here as well before being met with Danny Stutzman, who was on the first team defense despite Demario Davis and Pete Warner both being there today. So that's pretty interesting as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As for the offensive line, we have some information on them. Here's a nice little rep from the Saints #1 overall pick, first round pick, #9 overall, Kelvin Banks, in a one-on-one drill with defensive end Chris Rumph, who's been standing out in these practices so far during training camp. He just throws him to the ground. Nice little pancake there on a guy who's very NFL experienced. Nice moment there, helps him up. Nice rep from Kelvin Banks on the veteran defensive end. We also got some information on a guy who a lot of people have questions about, and Trevor Penning. Apparently, Trevor Penning had a pretty solid day overall. Nick Underhill says right here, he felt decent about Trevor Penning and how he looked on the day. He looked fine in one-on-ones. He lost one, as it says down here, to Brian Brzee, who got him really good. But overall, Trevor Penning looked good, which is pretty important. He's a guy who's switching positions, new coaching staff, and he's a guy who can maybe take this offensive line to a whole nother level if he is good. Jeff Nowak says right here that his early thoughts on Trevor Penning on day one of pads is that he looked pretty natural and comfortable on the interior offensive line position, the guard, which a lot of people have been saying for a while is where he would fit best in the NFL. He can now get downhill and attack a lot of reps, and with his size and strength, he's going to win a lot of those fights. So a good start for Trevor Penning. Good coaching staff, looked solid. Let's see if he can keep it up and help this offensive line be good this season. But overall, when it comes to team, it does seem like the defense definitely won the day. Granderson and Chase Young spent a lot of time in the backfield. Kelvin Banks stood up. Chase Young in the first team rep looked nice there, but after that, Chase Young got the best out of Kelvin Banks in his first padded practice. I'm not going to overreact to that. It's his first, basically, NFL practice. He's been practicing, but no pads. You can't really judge off of that. He looked good in that one rep. We'll have to see how that develops. I'm not worried about Kelvin Banks. Chase Young's a good NFL player. He's not Myles Garrett or TJ Watt, but he's a good player in the NFL at the edge position. We'll have to see how Kelvin Banks does in the future, but I'm not too worried about him not looking like an all-pro in his first padded practice. But another good day for Chase Young and Carl Granderson, who yesterday had a good day being disruptive in the backfield. Lots of TFLs, lots of plays out into space. But someone else who stood out, and we haven't heard his name at all during these practices, but he's an undrafted rookie, one of the guys who they signed, and a lot of people know about, is former Tennessee defensive lineman Omari Thomas, who looked to have 2 sacks on the day, according to Ross Jackson. 2 sacks for an undrafted guy is pretty significant. And from a pass rush perspective, that's positive development for a position group that can use all the help in the world that it can get. Saints new safety Julian Blackmon, who had a big interception yesterday and a flashy interception on Jake Haener, got first team reps with the starting defense today as well over Jordan Howden, but they did rotate Jordan Howden in there as well with the starting defense. But Julian Blackmon, who they signed literally just this past week, already with the starting defense and making plays. And like we mentioned earlier, there's 2 really nice pass breakups by Isaiah Stallbird on Jake Haener, covering Maliki Motavo, the tight end, and Elliot Davison covering Rashid Shaheed, with Jake Haener throwing the pass downfield. 2 nice pass breakups by the defense. Attendance-wise, pretty much the same. Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau were spotted, but again, not practicing as they're on the PUP, physically unable to perform list as they're recovering from injuries. That's probably going to be the case for a while now. Demario Davis returned to practice after missing yesterday's, but we do have our first injury of training camp, 5 practices in, which is actually good because, well, 5 practices in, and we only have 1 injury to this point. And that was JT Gray, who left practice early, who appeared to slip during a special team session. It was a lower body injury, and he's going to be evaluated. But Kellen Moore said he doesn't think it's anything bad. He seemed fine and optimistic about it in the press conference. Hopefully it is nothing too serious. Blake Grupe on the day went 5 of 5, and he's looking to extend his lead in the kicking competition over Charlie Smith, who to this point I believe is 5 of 10 in total, while Blake Grupe is 14 of 15. And Kellen Moore announced that they released Josh Ball, the offensive tackle, which is pretty interesting. I wonder if they're making up space on the roster to maybe bring in another guy on the team, maybe make a few signings. They're at like 88 or 89 out of 90 now. Curious to see if they end up making a move there. And that does it for day 5 of Saints training camp, day 1 of pads. Let me know your biggest takeaway down in the comments below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, help support the channel. And I'll catch you next time. I'm Cash. Have a good one.